this one, but constantly repositioning. I've got them collected. 30 seconds. Ethan.
30 seconds left.
Com waiting 15 seconds for the regenerative util with the dart. That's a stun. A repeat. Damage still being done yet. Okay, all collected in the end. Definitely some danger. Damage being done there, but PRX still with the anti-eco.
This next round gives them an opportunity potentially back into the map. Can they craft some kind of aggressive play that centers around for Sacred Jig? If you allow EG the space on the map, they're going to go around, they're going to hoover up the alt orbs, doing a new cosplay or something. And they're going to turn that into round wins. Can't allow it to happen. I think for PRX, it's a very difficult balance they have to tread of being aggressive without throwing it away.
Well, here we go. Talk about aggression. Smoke in his face. No angle cleared. Also, I said it with Timmy the Turret. But Lucio's feeling the heat now, isn't he?
He really is.
They've been really trying to clear him out of this. The reactions are just sublime. Lucio responding in kind to every challenge he was facing. There were fights taken, evened out across the board here, but it ends with just Mind Freak left alone in the 1v3. Maybe boot steps, they know exactly where he is. Flash and a repeat. The supportive util is just so damn good. We talk about it all day long, but it is Ethan and Com, the difference makers.
In that round, I can't believe what Boostio was able to accomplish there. Getting pressured from both sides, the trade should come through 10 times out of 10 in this spot. Of course, the first one, a gimme based on his excellent position. That, and then to get a follow-up on CGRS as well? Yeah, give it a chest pump.
Look at him. Feeling it, man.
How many times throughout this tournament have we heard that giggle followed by "I'm the best" coming out from Boostio?
It's been a lot. Here's a standard play from PRX, so they go for this tunnel control. The stun and the refight, the reclaim of this one. Com was playing just an attack position, but he's dealt with. The aim is nasty good from Mind Freak.
They have to worry about Boostio here. It's all good PRX being aggressive and getting the kills, but if they leave gaps like this, Boostio could still be a thorn in their side. CGRS is somewhat aware of it. He keeps looking back in this direction.
Drop down for Boostio to play in as well. He's tucked towards this one.
CGRS is not hard holding this. Okay, now with the smoke down, he's thinking about it. He's still worried about tower and tunnel. All down to Boostio, and at this point, surely the timing's gone for it.
Smoke face, they spotted him out. Respect showcase. Fault line for your troubles.
Another piece of aggression that works out perfectly for PRX. It's not that same level of pretty trap setup that we've seen on EG's defensive side. It's brute force, and it's what you should expect from this squad. Look at the way in which they're just so happy. One stim beacon running together to try and take duels. They're planning to overwhelm EG with pure amount of players on the screen.
PRX they do use quite often on this map. Part of their playbook when they do that big wrap around. But here we go, a new turn of events. Yeah, this one will end up. Jing is punished. Tries to take the peek angle. Satchel play. Jorgamo again to vacuum up even more. Strike right into the center of it. If the rifles didn't do it, the ultimate would have. Evaporation. All the players disappearing. Ethan, lone player left. Flash repeat. Comes out the angle. Has the ult in his hands. He was thinking about using it.
In a 1v3, he knows the other players are going to be grouped up around the spike. This is some level of confidence.
Yeah, he wants a few more, though. To find an easier fight for it. There's one through the wall. Enough damage done to him. 20 HP. Any single player could really bring him down in this moment. Forsaken is low enough himself, but just doesn't look doable. CGRS as well now holding that util. Forsaken takes contact. They're going to be pouncing. There's a stun. Used pound for pound, like for like. Cuts it down before it gets out of hand.
And so PRX win an anti-eco there. Utilizing a big ultimate, but such a coordinated match. The pinch coming through here on EP's step. It is massive. And that's the second time we've seen Mind Freak use his ult like that, just completely trapping players in order to convert around. PRX is so fast to fight that they're not even really offering that many opportunities to get those flank plays through or try to play spread.
They're just grouping up almost as 5 in one area of the map. EG tried to counter it there on their eco round by grouping up as well. Tactical timeout needed to be taken here. 4 ultimates available to EG. They have all the tools to be able to win a crucial round and start to get the momentum back on their side. But at the moment, struggling under the pressure.
It's been a string of rounds now, with the exception of round 15 that EG managed to win. But other than that, PRX, ever since they've got to this defensive side, story has been theirs.
And it's kind of like PRX are picking an area of the map, one of the 4 entrances, and just gambling that EG are going to be trying to take an ult over and trying to shove themselves as deeply as possible into EG's territory. Where are PRX playing this time? It looks like a triple play over towards Dish again. They'll probably throw out some of CGRS's utility to make it feel like it's a north-side crunch, but we can see the majority of this aggression, both duelists, stimmied up, are going to be coming from Dish.
Good one's going to have to be, again, stalwart defender of that one particular section if he's going to be met. Any sort of pressure? No. Boombot, here's a stimmy, here's the stuns. Sails Rider through and across. This is a reaction from EG. They choose to use the rolling front. Zavai was stunned up, and yet he hits that. But he does return fire. He has to make it a little bit more even. Drone tagging onto Forsaken, yet still claims the kill. Flak in their face. Cacophony of utility. Sweeping across the map. This way and that. Here's the lockdown now. Attempt to get a bit of a breather in the moment. Lockdown used into tower. Even one hears it. No amount of fancy movement will save Forsaken from that one. So space has been cleared all the way through. Mind Freak and Jing, they can't afford to play under the site, but it was actually destroyed there somehow. But
yeah, Jing's used his nade for it by the look of things.
At the tail end, there's a satchel plate up towards the top. Alarm bot, how is he managing that? Knows what a second player is. Util caught out in the open. Ethan normally so good for it. It's just up to Demon 1, and here's a familiar state of affairs, isn't it? Orbital strike, denying the first tap. Now the showstopper. Jing going to be using it. One ultimate for it. Smoked off onto the defuse, but he finally finds it. Stopping the defuse. Half not gained. Jing realizes it. It's done. It's over.
What a ridiculous round for both teams that was. Incredible stuff. EG are looking to try and pressure Arcade. PRX have a setup where they throw down that stun, like I was saying, and making it seem like a north-side crunch. If they hear anything Arcade, both duelists run at them. The pinch comes through. How Davai hits this? I will never know. And yet, as things descend, Jing manages to deal with the lockdown and take out both players in tower. Pops ult to try and stop the denial on the defuse. And yet, Demon 1 just has the read.
Wait a minute. Oh, no.
That has got to be a reaction to Jing taking those kills through tower.
Absolutely.
But I'm sure it was turned around as soon as Demon 1 won the round.
Grouped up EG, they have immediately struck back. Spray through, spray down. CGRS will only gain the 2. And yeah, it felt like we just exited that replay and suddenly we're met with this scenario. We're 1v3.
A wild clash on the south side, and Davai is left stunned quickly, 30 seconds in a 1v3. The question being, does he even go for this? They don't have a large loss bonus. Forsaken, CGRS, and Davai would be able to buy next round. That extra gun might be the difference maker.
But he feels like he has to go for it. It's 11-7. Can't let EG grab up way to map point. He has money in his back pocket. Taking away the guns would be quite useful. Trying to find one of the fights as well. At least tucks himself into the corner, but puts himself the 1v1 versus Bustio. Bustio glad to take it. So there it is. 12-7
guys,
EG.
चलो अपना हो गया setup
So that
अभी
map
game
point.
देखते हैं. Let's watch the match now.
EG were ready there for the south side aggression towards Tree as well. They've definitely done their
अरे
homework.
सुबह
Jordan was
सुबह
on
अरे
the
हाँ
high down
भाई
angle.
छुट्टी थी आज तो
And I
सोचा
believe to
स्ट्रीम ही
meet
कर
them
लूँ ये गेम.
when Jing goes for the double satchel play on top of the box.
इसके
Try
बाद
and punish
गेम
any
भी
sort of attempt
खेलेंगे.
there.
We'll see where the Forsaken decides
और
to go for a
बताओ सान भाई
similarly
कैसे
aggressive
हो?
setup.
सब बढ़िया ना?
He is often trying to challenge towards Tree. If you watch how PRX play on this map, and he doesn't usually have too much backup.
क्या लगता है
He's
आपको?
smoked off.
Last round है
So the
BG का.
fight instead
जीतेगा ना
happening towards
EG?
Halls, as it did in the prior round.
You might just see a brawl take place. Lots of ults. Here we go. Hunter's Fury, showstopper. Let loose. Ding close to the corner, but Hunter's Fury is doing work. Clears out the close corner. Jing will fall. No raised players on either side. Take a breather and a step back now. Reassess the situation. Boostio gaining some ground towards Strop, and as there's that re-exploration, Mindfreak was hunting for some information. He pays for it with his live Divido. Does catch that lurk ground to try and stop this towards halls. The smokes have been dropped. Door open. Slowing it down. 50 seconds left, and they're going to be facing it with the firing line. Divide will fall. CGRS.
Forsaken's got to capitalize on this for PaperX to win.
Catching the contact. Here's the ult. Does he let it rip? Yes, he does. Scatters across onto the side. 2 players connected, but so does it onto Forsaken. He stands up.
He ran into it.
No chance.
Trying to capitalize. At least it's more time. They know it's going to end A. No, Forsaken's worried about it going towards B right now.
It's chaos. The fast rotation back over towards it, but EG slowly tightening the net. Util to clear out close to the site. Everything being expended. CGRS and Forsaken, they've doubled up. It's a high-low setup here. Time running so down. First kill. Grant into it. Close to default. Aftershock pushing him wide out into the open. No bullets left. So they want 2 faces while they have to try and collect these kills.
लेकिन अभी बढ़िया है, अच्छा है Valorant, मजा आता है खेलने को.
It's Ethan who closed it all out.
चलो, EG जीत गया फर्स्ट फ्रैक्चर में भाई कोई नहीं हरा सकता EG को भाई. उनका मैप है भाई, उनका मैप है, लिटरली उनका मैप है.
Tough position for good for them in so many of those incredibly tough spots.
अभी तक तो कोई EG एक भी फ्रैक्चर और मैप हारा ही नहीं है. एक भी नहीं हारा है.
Take first blood in this series. Remember though, this is going to be a marathon. It's a best of 5. The PaperX core have played 15 of those across their history. This is only EG's
और सैम भाई आरपी आप कैसे खेलते हो? मेरे को भी थोड़ा सिखाओ ना. मेरे को नहीं मतलब समझ में नहीं आता आरपी कैसा खेलना है. एक बार गया था रोल प्ले में तो कुछ सर्वर वर्वर का इशू आ गया था. मालूम नहीं अभी क्या होता है उसमें.
Just outlandish, man. We're living through some of them. EG were in firm control from the one half. PaperX doing a decent job of putting the fight back into it, making it potentially winnable. Of instances as well, but as we've already been mentioning, it's a marathon, but it's best of 5. You get into that new territory. Definitely new for a lot of the players on this EG squad. How they're going to be tested as the map pool really gets deeper.
Bye. Demon Slayer, bhai, Demon Slayer.
Absolutely, and it's the place where you expect EG to be able to get their results. To me, as we head forwards in the series, it's now truly anybody's game. Even when it comes to Lotus, the next map coming up, the first one that PaperX picked, I think there's still chances for either team to take that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, map 1 wrapped up here in our lower bracket finals. Do not go anywhere. We're right back with a continuation of the series.
भाई इन लोग कहते हैं ऑडियो ग्लिच इतना है ना भाई.
Have you ever asked yourself after a bad game, what am I missing? Or sought help from impatient friends? Or browsed desperately for answers that only bring up more questions? Your self-doubting days are over with Discovery, the first game-focused AI. Discovery is trained on the world's leading esports athletes to be your everyday personal coach. That's right. Discovery can help you improve your gameplay by giving you tips and strategies to take your game to the next level. Get started at aimlabs.com/discovery.
This is Sadie. She's on Verizon, and she has the new My Plan, where she gets exactly what she wants and only pays for what she needs. She picks only the perks she wants and saves on every one, all with an incredible new iPhone. Get iPhone 14 Pro on us when you switch. It's your Verizon.
गाइस मैं आया थोड़ा नेचर्स कॉल करके 2 मिनट में, तब तक ये देखो आया. मैं फोन लेके जाता हूँ ताकि चालू होने से पहले आ जाऊँ. आया, सॉरी गाइस.
Red Bull gives you wings.
What an incredible start here for EG in the lower bracket finals. I'm joined by their coach, Potter. Now, Potter, Fracture, such a great map for you guys, but how do you play against a team like PRX? You didn't seem like you guys had any issues dealing with their chaotic style.
Yeah, you know, for us, a slight adjustment specific to PRX was to just let them tell us what they want to do. Let them tell us what duel they want, what map control they're going for. Initially, we just kind of paused for 5 to 10 seconds. Yeah, we're able to react. We were very confident on Fracture, so with that sort of control, we're able to react optimally.
Well, great game plan, Potter. Hopefully you guys can keep this up in this best of 5. Good luck.
Thank you so much for that, Yinsu. Always a pleasure to hear from Coach Potter. And it just, again, played like a fiddle, honestly, when you actually think about it, Hypoc, because really, PRX, they're a team that they like to show you their hand right away, and sometimes that hand's a very good hand, but EG knew exactly how to stop it.
For sure, yeah, and I think the concern coming into this is actually what EG have shown here at Masters Tokyo with their fracture composition, their approach to the map. The concern being Neon in PRX's composition, their ability to get ahead of those utility timings and whatnot is a real concern, actually, overall, but EG did exactly what Potter said. That slight adjustment completely neutralized that gameplay for PRX.
And even in the rounds where PRX were trying to hide their hand, it still felt like EG was consistently getting the read on them time and time again.
And I think even when they were shutting down their early aggression, which I thought was a really strong point of EG's idea coming into this map, the late rounds I think are more so what define this one, where when PRX will oftentimes kind of find that gap, so they'll push forward and make that hero play to be able to save them. We saw it so many times in that last series versus NRG, but EG's one of those teams. We're in those late rounds. They're really good at shrinking the map, playing together, and still having those util combos synergize at the very end of rounds to close things out.
It feels like they were on the playground, just having a good time. They were just doing their thing at times. And I think that also, just to go back to what Potter said, you saw it perfectly illustrated in those plays there, right, A.K.A? Like, it was very evident that their plan was to let PaperX just do the thing that PaperX does really well. And EG, I like that they could show those layers, right? That they could show that they can slow it back. They can be a bit more disciplined, but at the same time, when they want to get in your face and give you a right hook, they'll be there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you take a look at when the teams aren't even footing in, gun rounds, 8-3 in that regard. EG was just out-fragging them across the board. It took a while for PaperX to start looking a little bit more like themselves, to get warmed up. Jing in particular with a very rough start. Forsaken, it was just across the board a bit rough.
Poor Pacific caster A.K.A.
It's okay.
Yeah, but I think what the players that we're really going to be watching throughout this one are the players who have to be quite flexible. And that's Forsaken. He went from being the flex player for the squad back in Pacific when they had something in the roster to now going back to his old role as a duelist. And I think even in the struggles, he's consistently been able to perform. But on the other side, Demon 1 as well. Even when he has to flex, he's just so consistently at the top of the game.
I'm losing my mind because I didn't even glance at that. I normally don't go for headshot percentage, but nearly pushing 70 is pretty crazy. That is an outrage.
Well, I mean, there was that one play where Forsaken literally turned the corner, Palpatine fingers, and he was like, I'm going to one-tap you.
He was still going for the tap in that situation.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
This dude is absolutely bonkers. He really does, but also PaperX has that confidence as well, and they should, because they're going to Lotus here. Now, here's the thing. This is going to be anyone's game. Sideshow was perfectly illustrating that one. Fracture, you got to give it to EG. They're a great team there. But Lotus, that's where PaperX can really catch them off guard, Hypox.
Yeah, I agree with you to an extent.
Fair?
I'm going to counter
All right,
you.
go ahead, counter.
What we saw versus Fnatic was PaperX actually being very one-dimensional, and the fact that EG have already demonstrated so far, opening map of the series, they have the awareness, and they're actually playing to basically PaperX's strength and using it against them. So with PaperX showing a very, very simple, like I said, one-dimensional attack on Lotus, I think they have to totally overhaul here. They have to approach this differently because EG are the sort of team, they're going to look at that footage, and they're going to try and mimic exactly what Fnatic did.
Yeah, and I think EG's game plan on this map can actually be quite similar to Fnatic at a lot of times.
Absolutely.
You don't see them on their defensive side, where they will be starting in this map, really going for those gambits to take extremity control towards A lobby, towards C mount, something like that. Instead, they're really playing this slower style to re-clear space in the late round that really punished PaperX last time.
Yeah, well, of course, Coach Alex is going to have to cook up a plan here, and I do believe that we have Yinsu standing by with Coach Alex to get a few thoughts heading into map 2. Let's take a look.
That's right. I'm standing by with PaperX's coach, Alex. Alex, unfortunately, you guys lost map 1, but I feel like Fracture for EG, such a strong place for them always. But after playing against them, did you feel like there was anything in particular that was tough to deal with and you want your boys to look out for map 2?
I think what they do very well is they combine utility they have very seamless combinations. I think when the duelists are peeking, flash will come, stuns will come, and I think it's very, very nice to see. I'm not actually sure how to avoid it other than I think we're going to try and run away from it faster maybe, or go really more aggressive, like past the utility. So we'll try one of these two things and we'll see what happens.
I mean, if there's anything you guys are good at, it's going fast. So I have full faith in you. Thank you very much for joining me, Alex. And let's see how PaperX gets on in the second map.
I just love the theory crafting. You know what? At the end of the day, gotta go fast.
Speed kills. Let's go.
He's just like a guy running an omakase. He's just like, what can I make today for dinner? We're going to try to add a little bit more of this. We're going to slow things down. We're going to run away faster. We're going to run at them faster. I mean, you can tell it is so fast and loose with this squad, and it has been able to deliver the results, but we'll see if it's going to be good enough to get a reply map win.
But that's definitely the mentality you need when you're playing with a substitute. You've made it this far into a lower final. Just being flexible, being chill in these high-pressure scenarios is part of why PaperX is so good in games like this.
You have no other choice, right? I mean, look at the atmosphere where we are right now. It's thousands of people crammed into this building. Everyone losing their mind for every single play. And jump into the Prime Gaming Agent Select.
Oh, I love this. I love this. I've been waiting for EG to change their comp and bring a Viper. I think it gives so much more to your attack side at mid-rounds to have that utility.
Absolutely, I agree. I think this is the go-to now. Obviously, EG have demonstrated elsewhere that they're happy to play around with the meta a little bit and bring a little bit of cheese, a little bit of something different. But this, to me, feels like something that's going to stabilize EG's Lotus performance.
And for the EG attacking side, when they switch on over, I think this works so well because PaperX puts a lot of emphasis on going for those fast fights for a lobby. Leaving that space early and re-clearing with a Viper wall works so well.
One of the things that I need to see right at the start of this is going to be Jing on that race. He needs to have impact. We saw that from him from CDG, those flashback entries, but he's been looking good to shut him down so far.
Well, we're ready for map number 2, which means we got to send it back to the madmen themselves. It's, of course, Brendan Sideshow for the call.
Thank
you very much, Des Crew. Yeah, let's get into it. Map number 2 here for Lotus as well. I have to agree with the overarching points by the Des as well. EG, they're making these last-minute changes with goals probably to stabilize some of the more one-sided affairs on some of the halves of this map. But
we definitely agree.
Doing it in the lower bracket finals is quite crazy.
I think this is a good time to be able to bring out new ideas. You don't know how long they've been cooking something like this. It's not a brand new comp that they've invented. They have other teams that they can look at how the Viper gets used.
बनाया ना स्टेडियम पूरा भाई
I think one of the big
एक
strengths
नंबर
that they're
बनाया
going to be relying on here is that they can play a little
सोच लो
slower.
कभी होगा
Right? They
इंडिया
can
में तो
slow the pace of
भाई
the game
अटेंड करने
down
को
and
मिलेगा ये
allow
सब
PaperX to come to them, come through those walls where you get the decay damage.
गाइस बाय द वे कल
hit the
पुणे
snake
में
bites where they're going to
वॉच
get
पार्टी रखा
vulnerable.
है फाइनल्स के लिए आई
Com's got
होप
experience playing this agent too.
जो जाना चाहता हो जा सकता है वहाँ पे डिटेल्स आपको गूगल पे मिल जाएगी मेरे को एक फ्रेंड ने बताया था जो पुणे में रहता है
With a goal, bit of emphasis placed as well onto the extremities, but only forsaken to contain some of it. Going over to Jiggle Peak, there's no way he's gone for this many shots and repeated attempts at that. Goodness me, man.
Trying to draw out as much utility as possible here. They don't have the Killjoy, they don't have snake bites. This is a very weak C site.
Trailblazer combined with the Boombot. All being utilized together here. A couple of detonations, but the Nanoswarm delays them. Over the top, gonna be Dizzy. Paranoia used in response to it. Cage puts them up though on. Well, KG managed to swarm into position, left up to just Jing. The solo player here towards the back of the site, and yeah, he might have a frenzy, but that's a little bit too much to overcome for him. So, half of the course, pistol round. Gained in 1 for EG.
And a really well-played C defense. They flood in, buying time with that single nanoswarm that Boostio had given them while playing the other side of the map. And then relying on the paranoia too to just delay. And look at the pathing here, going into their own cages in order to apply pressure.
Two right clicks, one left click.
It's not just PaperX theory crafted on the fly.
What is he waffling about? The right click, 2 right clicks, 1 left click.
I believe it's like
the faster fire rate, right? With a classic.
I think the idea is you put out as much DPS as possible, but a joke I'm sure to do with him trying to teach somebody else on the team how to use the classic most effectively.
Okay. Deep push position for Jorgamo. He's pulled out a util, hasn't he? Just with his presence. The wingman, that's a flash repeat, but my God, he almost pays for it. Damage. Definitely done. Backs away for the heal.
They're getting their money's worth out of Ethan's heal, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's 2 rounds in a row.
भाई नैनो नहीं लगाया था ना उधर हाँ नहीं लगाया था
It's now going to be used around us minute mark, so grabs that info. Collection of players.
This looks like Boostio is going to dive through the door if it's a C hit.
It's going to be slow going though. They're already onto the side themselves. Paranoia right into the corner.
भाई ऊपर चढ़ 3 मिलेंगे
right to the side and jumping right clicks, doing some form of work. They have managed to get themselves into the back of the site, but Ethan's covering the back angle along with Boostio.
Nice cover.
It's that slow siege and squeeze,
Jawed.
denying everything.
Jawed round.
And I also want to draw your attention to the fact that Com is using Nat's Viper Orb setup on C, which is so lovely for flood defending the C site. Instead of trying to hard anchor it with a turret and nanoswarms and snake bites, instead it allows people from Waterfall to run into C and help the players that are anchoring. So this clearly not just been thrown together on the fly. Of course, with everything that comes with Evil Geniuses, they put some thought into it. Now, what can they do on the bonus round? There are a lot of Ult Orbs on this map, but I don't think Boostio is going to be able to get them all. They're very attack-sided.
Use the util to clear through into rubble.
Jing, however. Look at Jing, just making a beeline for the Ult Orb.
भाई मेरे को एक सैचल एक बार ट्राई करने का है डर के भी मारता है ये भी मार रहा है मस्त
Picking it up, just a bit of poking and prodding. The rest of EG are exploring deep into mid here. Forsaken was the one who's left to really contain that. A deeper push through. The A site's going to be gained for them. And Gathered now pushed up towards the deeper angles. Again, back pit. Another fight to be taken. Forsaken so low. The damage from the wall is just spotted. Still Boostio. Lay it down. Be able to finally take him out. Yes, they are.
Freak not caught by the Trailblazer. Able to take down Jorgamo. And it's only Ethan left to stand. Jing got the ult orb one way or another, and the rest of PaperX having a very clean round. EG not able to win the bonus of both pistols that they've had in this match. Kind of tracks where they've been at towards the latter end of this tournament. That's not been their biggest strength, although it looked like it was going to catapult them to stardom at the start of Masters Tokyo.
The gun's guarded. Ethan just opting into saving full armor and the Bulldog.
My eyes are going to be on Jing for the next round, that player, because he's got Showstopper to try and open something up. And it's so much more difficult to play C-Flood defense when the opponent's using a Showstopper. You want to be running away, not towards it.
Yeah.
It opens up many different avenues around the map. And you can see, take a glance bottom left, Demon 1 picking up the op, Com with an Odin. So Com's probably going to try and play off site, spam to defend the C site. Where Demon 1 takes a pick, though, might well define the round.
No one's actually going to be walking into that sight line, though. Everybody grouped up towards A. Again, same util use, disrespecting. Over towards Rubble and Ruins. Just the satchels at work, and it's easy to clear the way out. There's going to be the door switch tapped
within 10 seconds.
Little door being broken on top of it. Covering space and time here. Seeing if they can take the fight to Boostio. Well, it is traded. It's labored. It's drained. Right into B.
But there goes the ult.
Yeah. Ult going to be missing. Trailblazer to set this one up as well. Spamming right down that angle. Com almost collecting a kill. They've gained space onto the side. With Boostio falling, all that util is faded. Ethan, he knows he's being pushed. In his face. Forsaken just trying to get out of there. Getting awkward. That's still going to go down. Sounds into the post-plant situation. It's flank. It's occurring as well. It's Mindfreak versus Jorgamo. It's an important one. It's going to define quite a bit. Mindfreak collects that kill. Going to remove all the danger. One of the extremities. Ethan, good adjustment with the aim yet. It's on point. It's on fire.
Nice one, PRX.
On all cylinders, really.
That's another major round for PaperX to win. They start out this map in the same way they started Fracture, by winning these important round 3, round 4 fights and halting EG's momentum. As soon as Boostio dies early, he's not the first death, but the second, it just opens the door to B. They can't play B retake very well because Demon 1's got an operator on board.
And they're kind of relying on those nanoswarms to keep back the horde of
PaperX.
4 second में गांड मार देगा.
So there goes the Odin investment, the operator investment.
Heavy buy, and now they're seeking a clash and a skirmish now. This time trying to put a hurt on a team that has just been taking this space for free. PaperX beat a match in one capacity. CGRS falling, but it is evened out. It's been shown even more, just right past the Viper wall. Jing is not afraid of it. Now here comes the showstopper, combined with the neural theft. Demon 1 up in the air. Skipping right round the side. His position was popped out on the neural theft, the second pop of it. Jing is just so damn confident. This guy, unrelenting.
Jing bhai.
Determined to make a statement here on Lotus. PaperX picking this map for a reason. Jing's going to show him why. 6-3, an opposite beginning for him on map 1 to map 2. Individual form really got swinging. And if you wanted a warm-up map, if you felt like your team needed a little bit of time to warm up on stage, what better map than Fracture, where EG are favored anyway? So now the operator, the Odin, come back out again. Similar kind of setup.
Players back to him though. That's a satchel play and a peek from Demon 1. He does land it. Jorgamo fully blinded up, jumping into the wall like a broken AI. Gonna be met though. Trying to offset it still. What a reaction and what a flick from Demon 1 still. So below him, he does not adjust the aim. It's not there in time. So 3 players left standing here for PaperX. Boostio, the timing through the smoke. He's facing the opposite way. He was waiting for flash timing, potentially hearing that util being used. Slam into the wall here, Com. Almost getting punished for it, but now backing away, realizing he has to save it. Full investment once more. Can't go another round where you just lose all your guns.
PaperX are punishing EG for going for these early pieces of aggression.
भाई
Potter talked about how
भाई
important it was that they
1
just
HP
allowed
literally.
PaperX to play the game into them. And it feels like at the start of these rounds, EG are trying to make something happen. Round 1 and 2, Jorgamo was peeking out into C Mound and getting slightly punished, small amounts of damage, but not giving away a kill. There, he tries to do the same kind of thing to set up Demon 1 with the operator, but got full flash and just ended up walking into a wall. I know the EG guys were talking about Nats looking like a Yoru clone in one of their games. It can happen to anybody, I promise you.
Zero was truly doing the most here.
भाई ये शॉट एक नंबर था.
Going his way, some nasty kills, but yeah, just couldn't quite right time for that one.
Double Yoru clone.
PaperX here, 4-2. Steady lead being gained and granted to them on Lotus.
The Thrash Online, an ultimate that they can get massive amounts of value out of, and one that most teams will not have anything prepared to deal with.
Just the one snake bite launched. Sailed all the way through. I'm on the double doors. You're waiting for an orb tap. There it is. Gonna track it all over the place, almost claiming a kill here. As the door rotates open. The door gets tagged. There's no punish. Already players, though, in his space, right up in the open with the flash. It sets up Divine nicely for a cheeky little two-piece threat from the back. Seeker's going to be earned. Ethan already, though, has taken up the front section of the entirety of the site yet. Okay, brought down.
UCO's got a rifle, and Mindfreak wants to take this fight. PaperX have still got to be careful not to throw it away.
Shutting down an approach from the extremity. They know what UCO is. The nade, yeah, forces him out into the open. Clean. Good util from
भाई
Jing.
लोटस पे तो भाई ये खेलना चाहिए. Gecko.
So, PaperX combining, chaining their ultimates to be able to get another on the board. 5 in a row right now. EG with only the pistol and the follow-up. And once more, catching EG's players flash. Obviously, Com's going for something there. Getting a lot of value out of the Odin still. But they're not quick enough to be able to disengage from the aggression of PaperX. You think back to what Coach Alex was saying, well, we either need to run away from their utility or run past it, run through it. At the moment, PaperX have increased the tempo and gone forwards. They're running into Demon 1's operator in order to punish it. They're running into Com's Odin in order to get the punish there.
See the uncertainty just in the way that EG are playing. Like you said, you know, the players are getting caught with these weird, quirky timings. They don't quite know when to retreat and back away when the util comes.
Too late for a 13-0, I'm afraid. But the momentum's good for it to be one-sided in the opposite direction to map 1. Here's something I've noticed too. Since adding the Viper into this composition, EG haven't actually been going for any large bubble control plays. They're not trying to throw snake bites early to stop PaperX from gaining that area of the map. Maybe they've just decided it's too much to deal with the flash dizzy combos and Moshpit being thrown out.
Next map split.
PaperX do have a lot of utility to just unload all at once. And they're going to go for it again. I mean, here's PaperX once more. Flash dizzy combo, Moshpit, this kind of stuff to be able to take A early.
It's working. Reason to switch it up.
Jing's been able to sprint over to the A door within 5 to 10 seconds.
Nothing to stop him. Gauge, flash. Cuts up the angles, Ethan.
And look, now they're using even less utility because they know that EG aren't contesting it.
Empty, who's just tagged Paranoia. They want to chase down this kill. Forsaken is eager for it. Already, what a shot! Reaction to that one. Adjustments.
मस्त खेला
Just the micro movements of the mouse.
मस्ती खेलता है वो तो.
Give him the kill. Com. He's left to try and hold back. Getting this unrelenting pressure. He knows that there's a team building up behind them. Noise cut as well. Makes it feel like they could have just been walking themselves into B, but now as the door opens up, Trailblazer through along with a show. Vulnerable up. Okay, Com. Deals with the first piece, but already into the side, out wide. Mindfreak wins his fight, Ethan, towards the back, and he has claimed 2. Brought them down to their knees. Blinded up, though, Jorgamo. He's opened up wide, and this is an adjustment made still. The spike is out in the open.
And Ethan knows it.
Yeah. He's given up the space. Playing to give an out. Him and Demon 1 can hear the tap of the plant.
Spike planted.
Neural Theft back online. That's Forsaken. Again, doing damage and doing work. It's going to be spotting out these players. Do they want to go for a play here? Devi, he's close to the flash. He backs away. Playing together now. Knowing that they doubled up. Dashed. Breaks up. One of the crosshair placements and sight lines. They know that Forsaken's up onto Heaven, and they pick the timings just well enough, but maybe Team 1 can do something with this.
Oh, nice try, bro.
Guy has been brutal at times, looking like the best player on the team. He's the one to shut that down before it really gets messy.
And he made the hero play too, hiding inside the smoke, gets a pop flash out in order to make that round back in their favor. Bit of a missed input there from Jing. He threw another blast pack, stopped him from being able to shoot the showstopper, and offered Ethan a chance to win the round. But it's the Sky on the other side that's been doing the most for PaperX when they need it.
Adios!
Potter one side खींच के लेता है टीम को.
No breaks in the play, no pauses here. Straight out the replay when the first 5 seconds already some action.
अटक जाता है मेरा डीजी.
Taken up. Blaze run Boombot again used together. Tom's going to be using the snakebite to try and push them back once more, but saw that Util leading through. It's forced a ton of rotations, and now they work their way over towards B. EG growled into the corner onto one of the extremities. Cage to get them in and cross up. Again, a potential sightline where somebody could be there. Jing, have you overstepped your boundaries? It's the 1-2 punch of the rest of his team, and they have toppled down. It's 3 versus 3. Devi left to hold down that mound control, so there's no attempt at the flank, but the lockdown is in play. And do they have anything to break this one? It doesn't look likely. Have to give it up. Can't play this one together.
Serious opportunity for EG.
The positioning now of these players, it should be more predictable. Smoke onto the defuse. Boostio should be granted half. Mind Freak has found the first. Out onto the defuse. Time has been brought. Here onto Heaven. They collapse onto them. PaperX was 7, Josh. 7-2 being that scoreline. This is so damn one-sided.
EG just can't hold on. All of the close rounds, all of the close moments. Somebody on PaperX steps it up. This time, CGRS with only his 2nd kill of the map, being able to find a timing past Demon 1, who was instructed to keep providing those cloudburst covers for the player on the defuse. PaperX keep having an individual that makes the difference. And on top of all of this, EG can't figure out how to play the defense. They can't find a feel for the tempo. They keep getting punished early.
Dawai.
Potentially that lack of practice. Swapping around the composition. Last minute. Going to be hurting for that practice, that scrim time here. Forsaken seeking to, again, disrespect, just drag that util out of them. But Mindfreak does fall. Forsaken, no. He's not happy to give anything up, is he? He's alone when he's taking these fights.
Yeah, he's going to be so aggressive on the lurk in these kind of situations. Mindfreak went for something hyper-aggressive too. There was pressure towards A and C, so he decided just to go in on B through the Killjoy utility.
Got spot. That fates in the push from Forsaken.
Setup में लिया
and this is going to be so hard to play without your smokes.
Lombot notifying them. They clears it out again. A familiar play that we've seen once before. Demon 1. He's going to do so much here. Showstopper from Jing out into the open. Misses the rocket wide. CGRS. Plan from the wingman. Dodging of the flash towards the back of the side. He's claimed the first. 2 more to deal with. Spike planted. Demon 1.
Almost a pre-fire. It was that quick.
God almighty. No time to react to that.
So EG finally get their first gun round on the board. A reminder that they were absolutely pasting PaperX in terms of gun rounds to gun rounds in map 1. And now it's flipped on its head. It's still worrying for EG how they're holding on to door control. Mindfreak going for an over-aggressive play in B, realizing that they were relying on the Killjoy utility, just TPs past it, gets caught by Demon 1. But I'm still not content with how EG are playing the breakable door control. So often Jing is just throwing one nade into there, flushing a player out and getting a kill.
Yeah, it's always Boostio.
There's got to be adjustments. And Boostio is going to drop back to play C. Hard anchoring that spot.
2 rounds left and a half, 2 more chances.
This is another round where CGRS has the Thrash online. And this one's a major tool. It is so difficult to deal with, especially on a map like Lotus, where there's 3 sites and you tend to be more split up. Good luck spraying that shark down.
200 HP, difficult target to chew through. The pause in the play once more. Contacting. It's the name of the game. Way smoke, but now eventually with the util brought back online, here's a nade over the top with the showstopper. Not quite the showstopper, but the satchels at least to take up all of that space and ground. Mo was trying to TP onto the high ground to see if he can get a bit of a punish, but a bit of a whiff. The spike has been planted, so into the post plan we go with PRX. Couple of layers to it. King's going to be the first one to receive, and well, look at that, shut down immediately. He looks so sharp. Towards the back of the side, can they remove him? They can indeed, but they have so much more to get through. Towards the connector, Bucio's doing a decent job of things. He's already found his way onto the side, into the connector. He goes, having the defuse, sticking it through. Bucio, he will not be denied. EG click themselves a nice little round there, 4-7. The setup there, PRX too distracted on the flanks there to try and push them away from it.
कॉम क्या होल्ड करके रखा है भाई दवाई भाई को.
EG were retaken with 4 players coming from drop. Bustio with
दवाई भाई से दवाई ले
2K.
रहा था कॉम.
Caught off screen, but he's top fragging now for EG. Take a look at this replay. Here he is coming through for the punish on Jing, and then just drops down, deletes CGRS, gets on the defuse. It's not the greatest plant in the world. Wingman taking that into a bit of a difficult spot. Same defensive setup.
Yeah, that early Odin spam on the attack side. You can see that line of sight. Fire rate as well. Demon One's dropped down. Has to return back for the heal. Can't play the early aggressive angle here. Now you're setting up for CGRS with the ult. In his hands. Unleash now. Paving the way to try and take this side up. But already lots of players grouped up. EG. 3 of them. It's PRX who want to try and take it in a different direction. Good paranoia. Cuts its way across, no kill to be claimed. Spike still planted again. It's not a good spot for it, really. You can't really spam from this angle. Seekers in his face. Com, well, he's grounded it. This side, it does not matter. Judge in hand. Shotguns versus shotguns. And Com claiming 2. Towards the side now. Needs to be a fight taken. Good trade, but Demon One is instantly there. He's low, though. Has to back away. Someone has to get on this defuse. It's Ethan facing away. Back to the wall. Spam onto the corner. Will he go down? Will he fall? He will not. It's covered in time, and EG, that's a respectable finish to the round. Still down, 2-round deficit, but the half ends at least not in dire straits.
Yeah, EG have somehow saved this one. Ridiculous fashion, these final 3 rounds. The Seeker caught Com inside the smoke. And yet, there's no way King is expecting him to still be in there, pushing forwards with a judge. PRX taken off guard in the final couple by a defensive change-up in the setup. Now we head into the next half, and it's actually fairly even.
Yeah,
probably shouldn't be.
Fairly even. Chances here, of course. Let's send it down to Yinsu.
Thank you very much, guys. I'm joined by Benkai here. Now, Benkai, you've been here with this team before international tournaments. The first half, the first map, not the best, but this half has been a lot better. So talk me through what you made of this half.
I think we just caught EG really well with like the pace that we had at the start, and our aggressiveness. It just feels like we've been pretty much doing the same thing, and it just seems to work. So they're just gonna run with that throughout the whole map, I think.
Now for EG, they've never made a grand finals at an international tournament before, but you guys have. So what do you think that your boys need to do in this best of 5 to make sure that they do make another final?
I think they just need to keep their spirits and their moods high, because the way that we made the finals last year in Copenhagen was we just had a really good mood and everyone was feeling really confident, which does seem like they're having the time of their lives right now, like no matter what the score is. So I'm not really that worried about them not taking the map.
And lastly, very quickly, obviously you used the IG on the team, and now we're hearing the system is a little bit different. Would you be able to explain some of what's happening in the team right now in terms of the IGLing situation?
It sort of is everybody contributing at the same time. So each person will have their own input. Like, oh, they're doing this at the start of the round. What can we do to prevent that from happening? And then they'll just form a plan around it together. So it's sort of like 5 people contributing together to make one round.
Wow, yeah. I mean, it's working right now. So thank you very much for joining me, Benkai. He's confident, so I'm confident as well. What about you, Sideshow and Brand?
Got to keep the vibes going. I mean, that's the one thing we have learned about this PRX squad, you know, especially with them now dishing out this kind of IGLing duties across a lot of these players, 5 players, you know, coming up, formulating a plan. If the mood does get sour, it can put a bit of a dampener as well in terms of the comms and who's contributing to it.
If you wanted a team, though, to keep their spirits up, you'd be looking at PRX. I feel like they've done so much work for that. It's something that Alex has really pushed for them as well. They know that they need to keep spirits light, and I think that that's actually something that CGRS has been great at. Another pistol. They went 1 for 1 on map 1. And here, it could be all the difference made with this round.
Potential for EG drag it even. PRX though, they'd love to chant and an answer back here. Cam's going to be spotting them. Tap on through the plan and thank you folks the middle as well. They being used dizzy in their face. Nobody can see a bloody thing. And somehow, it's Mindfreak who comes out with the kill. Lots of damage being done. An attempt now and a call to flood right back out of this one. Com joining with the rest of his team. This crossfire setup. Mindfreak has opened up the door. Inside the smoke, he has hunted out and sniffed out. Ethan is there. Wingman to the side, seeking the defuse. Demon One has to try and put the pressure out. He has to swing wide to try and break this one, but he cannot claim a kill in time. PRX steal away that one. Pistol round.
मेरे को गेको इसके लिए बहुत पसंद है फर्स्ट राउंड में।
See Lil Bro
भाई सीधा बैठा था विंगमैन को डिफ्यूज कर एक बार मार
pressure on Demon One. Usually he's in a spot there where he can try and play. He knows that he's going to be able to isolate a 1v1. This round, CGRS combos the Dizzy with the flash excellently to put pressure on people as the plant is going down. Then he's picking up kills, and he makes things almost impossible for Demon One to win the clutch. I've been so impressed with how PRX has taken an agent that is seeing almost no playtime in competitive Valorant and pushing it right to the top. They're making a tournament run with a Gecko 1 trip.
Yep.
This is absurd. And it looks good.
You'll be seeing teams experiment, Josh. Listen, don't get too carried away.
We saw teams experiment. To me, that's one of the wildest parts. We saw teams try to run the Gecko and they failed.
Yeah.
Early on in the season.
I was mainly talking about the idea of running 5 content creators on a team.
Oh,
and
right.
playing it at pro level. Let's not give Sentinel any more ideas, but...
they'd love that.
Yeah, I mean, they certainly would.
All right, so once more, both teams go 1 for 1 in pistols. And that's one of those strengths that I talked about for EG at the beginning of this tournament. It made them look utterly unstoppable.
Grouped up, gathered up. Trying to work their way into the side, smoke in their face. But the Bulldog, it's all clean. Need one casualty. That's Mindfreak. He'll be able to change. He'll save his gun as well. Take it into the next.
Not the biggest ult in the world that you want to be generating, to be honest, but Mindfreak could be happy about it anyway. On the other side of things, Com is now 1 orb away from having his pit down. If EG want any chance of being able to get back into this, they need to be leaning heavily into that ults generating, other ults generating rounds, the snowball, the avalanche. Com's actually playing this first part of the round alone, though. Just going to throw his orb down, at least to give him an opportunity to return back to A in the round.
Yeah.
See where he wants to play.
Way in the boombox to set it up, smoked across, and a flash in the face of Mindfreak. He has to get out.
भाई क्या सेटअप लगाया भाई
2 trips to play off of.
So Com's going to take this orb. Those trips are going to be dangerous in this half. We saw teams try and run the raise to be able to break those satchels. So useful. Demon One's going to have a little bit of a tough time, and especially if Com decides to do something like pit into C, those could be a big issue.
It's all been slowed down around the minute mark. Line up for a bit of global pressure. So this Trailblazer and a Snakebite, it's going to fake like they're taking it over towards A. The goal of this is to pull rotations back over towards that area of the map. It gives up C ever so slightly, but I mean, Mindfreak's not taking the bait. Jing looks like he wanted to. He's backing away, but again, I was playing back towards C, still holding this paranoia, and here it is. Sails through, vulnerable up in his face. TP's back out again. Idea and approach. These trips, will anybody be able to play off of it? Satchel to the side. It is latching onto them still. It's brute force. It's the name of the game for EG. Get themselves in, and the pit is down at their feet. Ethan covering the fire just as it blooms. An attempt, a chance. Forsaken, only the one.
I believe they're planted outside the pit there. Maybe I saw.
Well, maybe a chance for them. Devi is low, though. Can't quite get the crosshair on the target. Devi revealing his position. Bit of spam into the corner. 8 bullets left with the Bulldog. Just an impossibility with the Viper's pit in his face. Oh, look at that gap as well with the pit. I mean, there's a slightest gap there for Boostia to play in. Com, adjustment, a flick to the side. It shuts it down. So, 6-9. We said it was a must-win round for EG. Let that one get out of their hands and let PRX get up to 10.
They clearly had a game plan with that ultimate. I mean, that looks like a nerdy fight. Little gaps where they know how to support each other, how to be able to play in the post. Ethan, Tom being able to play off each other immaculately there to trade out effectively. PRX love getting aggressive in these kind of spots.
They're going to go with it. So hard to try and punish a player.
They didn't realize. They didn't know that Boostio was around the corner. If Jing had known, that nade is going through and they are blast packing onto him almost 10 times out of 10, I think.
He's able to escape. Damage being done to him, just the turret being broken. Nice mid-rounding from EG. Breaking a lot of the util. Cam was spotted out as well, which was broken. Dragging players over towards C, while the rest of the team now work, set their sights onto A.
And Ethan one away from his ultimate. With a little bit of A control, they might be able to grab some Seekers that would put enormous pressure on CGRS.
Was broken. Trailblazer leads it in. This makes it feel like, I mean, it feels like they're almost just going into B, but
it might bait CGRS to push through the smoke.
It's still waiting. The smoke's surely going to be fading in any moment now. Yeah, the timer, the internal timer, CGRS's head, but all gain. Seekers pushing forwards. Boostio, he fell in the middle of all of this. He was lurking towards the back line. Demon 1 is there. Takes care of CGRS, the lone player, onto the site. Plan to go down. Let's see how this post plan gets played.
Forsaken's just missed his cam, I think. He was trying to use it to clear out com, or at least to give him some information.
Forsaken feels like there could be a player lurking through the main choke. It's an important fight to take. 3 players of PRX trooped up now. It's Forsaken through, does not expect it, so taken care of. And now, the entirety of EG set their sights towards the back of the site. Nade sails over the top. Tavai finds the first onto just com. Satchel plays in. Time is starting to run really short here. Team 1 still locking it down for the 3 angle flash in their face. Backed around. Satchels. Full collapse. Body of PRX falling.
EG with an important one on the board here. Starting to generate a comeback and knocking PRX's economy down into the top.
Guys, make sure
this
to
exec
like the
off the
stream
Seekers
and
worked
subscribe to the
very
channel.
nicely. They increased the tempo. And in prior rounds, they faked A control. And CGRS has used his utility to re-clear that area. And that's part of how PRX have looked to generate their advantages, is by falling EG's bluff. That time CGRS, he was thinking about it. We saw him inside the smoke, wondering if he should try and gain that info back for his team. And he just ended up a little too close to the exec when it happened.
This timeout called. What is the adjustment now that needs to be made for PRX? Losing grip ever so slightly on this half.
And do you think they're discussing strategy? Or is it a vibe shift?
It might just be a vibe check, honestly, yeah.
It could be absolutely anything with a PRX timeout.
Just don't know.
Their comms videos are wonderfully crafted. I mean, really illuminating into what the team atmosphere looks like. But sometimes in these big matches, there is a single player that steps up. Forsaken said that it was him in that grand finals that they played. But they were crowned the victors over in Pacific. In moments like this, in an arena like this, sometimes you need a player to step up and take charge. Sometimes the hive mind has the struggles, has the wobbles, and you need a hero. So far in Masters Tokyo, they've been talking about how good CGRS was at that he's IGL for them in a couple of maps. Talk about unlikely heroes stepping up.
Here's an adjustment. 4 players to meet them. Take control of A. Mosh pit clears around. I mean, you can't disrespect that piece of utility. You will be falling.
भाई क्या आराम से बैठ के खेल रहा है जॉब में
They've completely given up C. They are on a half by, so it's a good time to take risks like that. Maybe we'll see the adjustments as well that they were making towards the next one when they've got the money to buy up the guns. Chance of a timing. Forsaken with the Sheriff, who will grant him a sightline. Boostio, he's eager for it. The opportunity and chance.
Con was trying to backstab these B players that were opening the door. Now he's getting crunched.
Yeah, he's the one who's going to be squeezed. Can't lose his rifles. Can't give this one over. This is a little bit precarious. Right through. Vulnerable. No. Spams down 2. Enough damage done. CGRS holds it down, but there was help on the way. Ethan ready to clean them up. Make sure that rifle did not fall into enemy hands.
Very smartly played by Con. think that's one of the big reasons why the Viper works so well against PaperX. Just being able to vulnerable your opponents as they push you is a massive advantage. Didn't work out amazingly for Evil Geniuses on their defense side. But now, only one round separates these two teams.
भाई लेकिन साला EG FNC फनाटिक के सामने स्प्लिट में आ रहा था ना, वो भी क्या खींचते रह गया था स्प्लिट में भाई.
It's good for information, it's good for applying pressure, retakes. Very versatile on ultimate.
Beginning of this round, though, is going to be a quick dash towards the side of Rubble. With a flash over the top to supplement. Got some of that space towards A. Deep down as well.
Oh, Jord!
Plenty of time, apparently, to adjust your aim enough and brings down Mind3. So, into the front of the site we go for EG. Clearing this one out. They don't know. Back of the site is compromised. Still going to have to potentially clear that one up, but just giving it up for now. Plant's going to go down. Nothing to dissuade it. Forsaken on the high ground. Not the best weapon for the job, is it, with the Odin? He was aiming for the heads, but almost gets taken down in response. Here's Threat. You might start to see it really pay off here. Any sort of detainment will be nice. Spam onto the corner. Ethan, he brings down Jing, but detained. So, 1-for-1 trade. Players posted up. Far back angles. How do they approach this one with the defuse? They still have the wingman. Possibly get themselves onto it. That is beautiful. The Neuro theft that sets them up in the paper mache walls. They fall to pieces.
Bye.
Odin spam on top of it. That is just miraculous.
What a play.
Chalenge.
PaperX look fabulous there. They combine Trailblazer, Boombot, and Thrash together. So you can't possibly break them all. That gets them the opening into the site. And then the spam off the neural theft is... It's PaperX to a T.
Yeah, that is
it's
delightful.
unusual. Don't think about it. Who else is playing Cypher on this map? Beautiful stuff. And the Boostio aggression giveth and it taketh away. As he found one and then got caught.
Surprised Ethan wasn't that. Could have brushed it off though in these big moments. Here we go. Fight taken with the flash and a nade. Pushing them back once they realise that mound control. Oh, it's not quite there. The Blade Storm's sailing right over the head. Is Mindfreak still alive? Him and Divide. Making it a painful exit. EG left scampering.
Uncommon failure for Team of One as Mindfreak picks up 4.
Demon
I feel like if he was able to land a single Blade Storm, maybe the round could have been doable. Now that started with PaperX reading the fact that they were going to take Boostio's lockdown to C and countering it immediately. Potter's going to instant call attack timeout after this. Because getting caught by a trap play like that, I think is unacceptable for EG. Those kind of plays where they're off sound, alt orb tap, something like that in C are so common. So common. And yet the big moment, the pressure, the speed the both teams are playing at causes those kind of errors and mistakes.
Danger of playing against a team like PaperX. They bait you in. Yeah, faster plays, man. We've been hearing teams talk about it.
Definitely. That was something that EDG's coach talked about a ton. That they just got baited into playing the high-tempo game and they couldn't hold on.
You don't keep the diligence. Like you said, you know, that trap play, that works. In that instance, right here, right now, maybe because this is a big game. You're in this new arena, thousands of people watching you. Lower bracket finals, no more second chances.
Yeah. And I think one of the other ways that PaperX baits you is that they do a lot of stuff that's based off timings and instinct. And then they'll throw a trap play at you, some set coordinated piece of defensive aggression on many of their maps that takes you off guard with how coordinated it is. And that's quite a standard trap play that they just showcased. But I think that really left EG reeling.
No problem, man.
Hey, look, something you
can't play CGRS. Stepping up for the team. Listen, not exactly the one-to-one in terms of the roles, but they are just plugging and playing them in with Gecko knowledge here. And now PaperX up to 11.
Boostio's gone for an attacking operator to try and deal with what PRX are up to.
It's interesting. He's going to clear this close corner because look, it's CGRS. He's posted up deep onto Rubble.
I mean, this is exactly where the Snakebite lineup goes if Com wants to send one in.
They do have util to clear it. At least the lineup in the back mines, we've seen Com use it.
There's actually more of an aggressive fight happening over at C. Jing, full blind, still holding W, tucking himself into the corner.
Does not care. Look at the disrespect being shown. Does not care. Tanking 2 of the flashes. TP across, setting it up with a jump spot. The Vi looking for that information. Punish on the attack side ops are finally revealed.
Probably a surprise for PaperX too. The operator coming out.
Not expecting it.
Where are EG going
By
with
4
this?
seconds को ये
45
चाहिए भाई
seconds.
operator.
It's time for a lockdown, and it looks like they're going to take B control.
भाई क्या lockdown
Down,
लगा
door
है?
opens up, an attempt to try and punish this one. There's a fight being taken as well, punishing it all over towards Mound. King, he's there. Gonna hold on, shots right through the wall. Lockdown's gonna be getting off here. Fight needs to be won. Backing away with the satchels. No players detained, and the site is there. It's Viper's Pit. Drop through. Wallbang spam angles. They got lineups on lineups for days, but Team in One will put down any sort of funny business. The very funny gun. No chance in hell. Team in One is ripping off heads and taking names off the list, isn't he? Single-handedly making this one winnable.
It's a great game plan from EG too. Looked like CGRS was going to be difficult for them to deal with over by Rubble. They just ignore him completely. I like the patience too that EG demonstrated in this round. Jing was a constant problem for them. And so they dealt with all of the supportive elements and have left Jing until the very end to mop up. Don't offer him any early fights. Pick off his support with an operator. Head to the other side of the map. Use your ults to be able to get into a
कमेंटर्स सब राज खोल रहे हैं PRX का.
It's nice.
Strat का.
It gets EG up to 9. But PaperX is still in control of this map.
Most of this map, it's felt like there's just been that 2-round deficit. You think back to the half as well, when it was 7-5, it's been carried all the way forwards.
Definitely.
The narrowest of leads, still held by PaperX, still in control.
And an operator on the field. For Devi over on the C site, not going to be contested early. Instead, they flash at Rubble.
Oh my.
And it's Booster goes up that comes out on top.
The flash over the top that was not detted. CGRS was trying to play anti-flash. That's why it's back towards all of them.
Yeah.
Sacrificial trailblazer just goes to take the trip. And now that forces PaperX to go for info peaks.
Not what you want to do when you're up against the operator.
Not at all. Boosty goes on such an aggressive risk angle here, though.
Man. I mean, he spots it. And there it is. Number one for the collection. Oh, and he opened, though. He had Util in his hands, and the cage cut him up from the rest of his team. There was no follow-up. Forsaken puts himself into the corner.
No way.
Into the box. This is going to get cleared. Some level of foresight. It's there, and a re-swing. Spammable for a box. Team one dashes forwards. Maybe not intended. Chocobo, he's got his back. Coverage in the moment. 40 seconds in a round. Plenty of time to take a breather, but they opt to take the spike and get the plant anyway. It's the Vi left in that 1v2.
Giving away his position with the flash.
Yeah, and he's only got the op to do it. Smoke in his face. Paranoia. Sensory deprivation. Doesn't know where they are. Silent drop down. Still contacting. I don't think they saw him cross here, but there's so much to watch for. Yeah, the guy's got util, but does he choose to use it? Ult popped off. They're through into the back. It's pinged out. I think they know the device here. Tap onto it. It's a weird plant location. Door rotates. He hears it. The footsteps perfectly sound baiting, perfectly noise baiting. There was no tap from Devi. It didn't exactly force the issue from EG, but they chose to take the fight anyway.
So EG pick another one out and drop PaperX's economy down into rough territory.
Yeah.
Not impossible. But ever since Bustio has gotten this operator online, EG have found victories out of it. I think it tames Bustio a little bit too. Some of his lurk timings have been overly aggressive, trying to make a play, desperate to drag his team back into contestation on this map. Now he's been able to find a lot of good opening fights. It's also slowed their tempo down. Instead of having to react to PaperX, they can control it and fight purely for map control.
Last time out at
Going
PRX
into some kind of execute or push up towards the site with a few, 40 seconds, something like that on the clock.
आज मौसम भी बढ़िया एकदम बारिश हो रही है मस्त भाई दवाई का भाई कीबोर्ड क्या सेक्सी है
You've got to bring this one over the line.
चूत
Best of 5, sure, but you don't want to go 2 maps down in the series, not when this one was so winnable.
PaperX would not be unfamiliar with being 2 maps down in a VO5 and coming away with a win anyway. If you recall, they're the first team in VCT history to reverse sweep a VO5. Previously saw it in Game Changers, but it took up until the Pacific Grand Finals against DRX for a reverse sweep to happen in this circuit. So they know they can do it. You'd never want to be in that spot, though. No. Especially when this has been your map pick to start the series.
To 11.
That's close. That's trying to catch Mind Freak on the jiggle.
More than dangerous. Kush is like, I think I'll take this. Okay.
While facing away to dodge any kind of trap flash setup. Though having said that, not as good against the paranoia, which is frequently used in that
hero gun liya hai CGRS ne.
Just the stingers. Your rifle for CGRS. Deep flash. They know that nobody's tucked behind the box.
And Boostio's going around the map. Hoovering up the ult orbs.
One more left to gain. This game plan. Got to be aware of it, but I don't think PaperX really have any of the tools, high pen weapons to try and do damage to it. Be aware of this one, though. Look at this lineup. Where's this one going to land? Moth Pit.
I mean, it looks like it could be on... I don't know. I mean,
yeah, not too sure.
It can't be on the ult orb. It must be for rubble.
Where's the contact? Yeah, I'm not too sure. Here's Dizzy. Information gathered. That collects onto a cacophony of players all through. Beautiful work. And they have absolutely turned EG into mincemeat.
We were wondering how on earth they were going to stop EG from picking up that final ult orb. And I've never seen a play like that.
Yep, Dizzy through the tiniest of margins over the top into the ceiling. Mind Freak. He's got to put a stop to this one. Smoke lets them cross in. Paranoia up. There's no real time to play with. Through the smoke, Comstall lands the shot, but where is the spike? It's in his hands, and he needs to plant it now.
He's just saved them.
Time running so damn short, but I think they've just got enough to extend it. Brought it into it. Yeah, here's the post plant. Ob still in the hands of team. And one, here's another one. Right for him, pushing team into the spawn now. Over the top, over the heads. Dizzy lands Jing. He hasn't spotted it. Ships in the night. Commerce lurks right behind them, and they are none the wiser. Clearing out everything. I cannot believe it. It's planted for him. A tap. He knows it. Com may have just made a massive play. One to save the map. A tap onto it. Misses the shot. No bullets. Has to go for the reload. Another tap, forcing it. Snakebite doesn't know if it connects. Has to be a wide face. Tap on the defuse. It's shut down.
भाई निकाल लिया रे तेरा
Oh
ये
my God, what a chance.
भाई boom bam. She by
An unbelievably smart play to try and win the clutch there. But credit has got to go for to PaperX for that trap play that we witnessed over towards A. That's what really seals this round. What on earth is this? Dizzy combo with Flash. They open the door, wingman out, players pushing through the breakable door, which was softened up earlier on.
Yeah, that's what 1,000 hours of Gecko looked like, apparently.
And also, an impeccable read on what EG were doing. You look at Tab, you see Boostio's taken one ult orb, two ult orbs, you know he's going A.
This is it. Precipice to the map. PaperX. Only one step away out in the open. Boostio does not know which way to stand.
And that's the lockdown gone.
Yep.
Made to look silly, foolish by PaperX.
And they left scrambling into the sight lines. Divide with the operator straight down mid. It's EG that are being picked apart here, looking for any available option. You go one way as an operator, you go the other way. It's a cyber setup. Cross-section of wires and traps. All you got to do is drop down and you're going to be punished. Showstopper around the side. Ethan's there. Jordan forwards. Can they really make something of this? Trailblazer around the side. It catches onto Mind Freak. And of course the punish is there. How has this turned? No reactions inside Jorgamo. Taking matters into his own hands. For the map. They want to see the extension in play. CJRS pushing through the smoke is instantly there.
Nice round, guys.
What was that from EG?
Divide का है ना आप?
A small smile on the face of Ethan. He knows that they've just absolutely robbed PaperX. Forsaken was in his hand watching all of this happen. How have those bullets gone through that wall to kill Jing? And then all of the aggression, proactivity coming out from Ethan's flashes. That's masterful. And it's dropped PaperX down into a shoddy bye for this, the final round of regulation, all on the line.
Chance has been slipped out of the fingers of PaperX. Could have been their map, grouped up towards mid. They're going to seek to punish. Still the turret in their face. What are they waiting for? They hear the Trailblazer towards Mounds. Does not push this one back, but still holding this paranoia. Ping up to the corner.
उनके पास करीब 4 CGRS
What are they hunting for? Flash. Wide face and swing, it's collected. Well, it's just about landing.
Come too slow. That one just taken off for timing. They were hoping to take contact early, didn't. Decide to re-clear it anyway.
The way to get rewarded with the very few rifles you really had. Maybe there's a chance now. Big player advantage. Team 1 falling. A lot of the initiative that's going to be in this round is going to be taken away from them. You don't have your jet player.
It's not a disaster just yet. They have lockdown Seekers to work with.
Seekers, Ethan, trying to make this one feel like an A hit. Breaking through the door, following up behind it. It's not too much else pushed up behind. Only the Seekers, though, they have pulled players all the way into spawn. I mean, PaperX are just collected there. The round's just begun, man. 30 seconds remaining, and it's the double back, the double fake. EG are running right into this one. It's being read by PaperX with the Seekers of their own. It's spelled out disaster, lockdown. It has to be used to clear this one forwards. Plant, an opportunity and a chance to Seeker to take the timing, but he's going to be punished.
Comms holding their back.
All the way further, all the way back towards Rubble, punishing onto the Divide. And here's the Thresh now. Has to try and get some sort of detainment, but it's a scattering of players. EG not giving him a glimpse, not giving him a chance. 2 left standing here. No more rifles. Smoke's dropped down. Mindfreak seeking to clear through. The fuse started by the wingman, but no damage, not enough done. The shorties, they break it down. Half on the defuse, maybe an opportunity, but no. Raw time to the knees. EG all the way.
An absolute miracle hero play from everybody across the team in round 24, round 23, sorry, and then immaculate calling from Boostio. That is mastermind. He has, in every sense of the word, finessed them there.
Nice, let's go.
The Hive Mind was able to take down the Mastermind just for PaperX to get into this match, but that was a beautiful round from EG to be able to get them into overtime. Pushing and pulling. And the 7-5 half ended up getting recovered.
Picking up the 4th wall there, but here we go, getting into OT. 12-12. EG to pull off something ridiculous to even make it possible. PaperX.
This is a different setup, Brent. We talked about how EG adjusted their defense in order to start winning those 3 rounds at the end of the first half. Now Boostio is hard anchoring A with all of his killjoy utility here. I don't think he did this once.
Double door here, Boostio's trying to get his eyes on the traces. The counter spam may be in order, but no kills to be found, no damage either. The nanoswarms are already being cleared. The bait and switch, and they wait out the util. Here's a Satchel play. What is that? Noise counting, and he has just broken apart the defense in the blink of an eye. Movement so clean. Jogamo seeking to deny. There's the plan. Disrupted with 2 kills there, dodging off the showstopper. Nade at his feet, round to the corner.
Oh भाई, नेड बिट्टी कर दिया. Nade.
TikTok Omen put to bed, and Jing opens and closes the round to get PaperX up to map point. You can feel it, they are fired up for this.
Can't believe the movement here. I mean,
what an entry. Yo, what? I mean, it's 2 improbable entries, one after another. Just to break PaperX in.
Yeah, and no one's ready for it. No one can trade it. Hit out a Nana Swarm. Trailblazer leads the charge. Right back into it. PaperX now, again, 1 more chance.
Device got an op over at C. Their Sky player has bought an op in overtime.
Definitely a certified PaperX moment here. Cam tagging. Up and away here. Cam got to break away from the action. Here's a mosh pit. Wingman round to the side. Snake bite. Let's try and push back this aggression. This time, everything is contained.
This time, they're ready for it. The incredible PaperX trap ends up biting them instead.
Kills collected. Mindfreak pushing through the smoke, though. Risks have to be taken. TP was heard. Spamming into the smoke. Which direction do you really want to go in here, though? See the diligence. Just using that util against the box there. Onto the close corners in case somebody was hiding.
They know the positioning of Mind Freak roughly. He gave it away with the paranoia about 5 seconds ago.
30 seconds left, Josh. They're going into B here, into the connector. Jing, he hasn't been dealt with. Still has a nade and a satchel. Jing, he's pushing forwards into them. He's taking a second kill away from. Satchel's still there. Nade on top, 20 seconds remaining. It has to be a quick pivot, but right into the arms. And sight line up, Mind Freak. Blinded up, does not matter. Still here's the shots. Spike, drop behind the wall. Time running short. Still only 12 seconds. Jogamo, he cleans him up. He's carving out a path. Maybe onto the site themselves. He needs to get this player down with only 5 seconds left. Foot down, stunned up. Combat's to stick it. A rocket wall close. Jing is a monster.
Nice game, bhai. Nice game. For second, bhai. Dawai, bhai. Nice game.
Both
Nice
rounds of
game. Nice
overtime.
game.
Jing puts on a masterclass. What on earth was going through Evil Genius's head in that final round when they went for the B pivot and weren't possibly aware of Jing's positioning? What an opportunistic play. Over 300 ACS Jing finishes that map with. Monstrous performance. And almost single-handedly winning both of those OT rounds.
Oh, yeah. He was taking charge. The movement from the satchels, containment when things just started to spiral out of control. He just is that guy. What a way to set the stage here. A lower bracket finals. It's 1-1 with the map score now, Doc.
Both teams have the briefest of breaks before we head whirling into split, where we're expecting a double duelist mirror to be able to carry the momentum of this series into quicker and quicker heights. This was a ludicrous map. I don't exactly know how PaperX were able to hold on towards the end because it looked like EG had figured something out. But those final 2 rounds, excellent.
The deeper this series goes, the more interesting it really gets as well. Map pool depth is going to be tested in the lower bracket final. Best of 5. Territory the PaperX have been in before. EG, really Ethan to lean on in terms of that veteran presence to carry them through scenarios like this.
I cannot wait to see where this series goes. And this guarantees us Pearl.
Absolutely. Well, that's going to do it for map number 2. We'll go to a short break on the other side of things, of course. Continuation of this lower bracket final. Don't go anywhere.
चलो गाइस, अभी ये तो ठीक है, थोड़ा गेम खेलते हुए मेरे को बोर हो रहा है. चलो गाइस, जो भी जीतेगा मैं बोल दूंगा, बता दूंगा. अभी मेरे को बोलने की जरूरत भी नहीं, तुम लोग को पता चल जाएगा. मैं गेम चालू कर रहा हूँ खेलने को. मैं स्ट्रीम करता हूँ चालू. रुको.